Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at Stackable's feature grid block in WordPress. This is a mini-series on taking a look at Stackable's blocks individually. So to get started, let's go ahead and make ourselves a brand new blank page and look at this block in depth. So there's a couple ways to do that. The first one is if you're already on your website and you're logged in, you'll have this top toolbar. Simply hover over New and click on Page. Alternatively, if you've logged in with your username and password, you'll end up on your dashboard. Head over to your left-hand sidebar, hover over Pages, and click on Add New Page. That'll take us to the WordPress block editor and make us a brand new blank page. Alright, before we get started, let's do some housekeeping things. If this right-hand toolbar isn't here, this right-hand sidebar, there's a button beside Publish called Settings. Just click on that to toggle it on, because this is where we'll find our settings and items to toggle and configure for our block. Next, let's go ahead and give our page a title to keep things organized. Alright, and finally, let's add the block itself. There's this blue button over here on the left-hand side called the block inserter. Click on that and just scroll down till you find it, or you can search for it. Alternatively, well, since Stackable is already here, let's just head down to Feature Grid and drag and drop that into our workspace. Now let's close the block inserter to give ourselves some room to work with. And as you can see, there are a few different options for layouts, but since these are stackable premium, stackable paid options, these are grayed out. So let's just stick with the default one. And here we are. Now we have another video on the stackable feature block, and that's essentially what these are. Let's go ahead and click on this over here, select parent block, and you can see we have our options for the feature grid. Now for layout, we can put as many as we want, 4, 5, 6. If I disabled this, we can see that it gives us some empty spaces if we wanted to put a video or an image or something else to describe what these are. But if I enable this and I opened it up again to 6, theoretically you could put more, but it'll take up too much space. So let's stick with just 3. And we have our feature blocks in here. We can also allow column wrapping, and it allows us to individually adjust the spacing for these. So this is going to be 48%. This one will be 27%. You can see the widths are a bit different. And then we can also drag and drop these to mix and match them in our array. We can also change our inner column spacing relative to each other and our column gap relative to themselves. We can also change up our row gap if we have more than one, but we don't have that right now. And we can also change our block width and content alignment, and justify among these, keep it on default, as well as our column alignment if you want to do something funky, and then our margins and spacing and padding. Next, we have style. We can add a background to this. Let's keep it simple. Blue is fine. We can also add a top separator, which is this, and a bottom separator, which is this, and you can change the style, but for this video, let's keep it disabled, keep it simple. We can also change the border radius for this. I'll do this for this video. And our advanced options, go through them real quick. General, block HTML tag, overflow, clear, our hard position settings, custom attributes, which are HTML, responsive settings, if you want to hide this on desktop, tablet, or mobile, and our HTML anchor and additional CSS classes. Now let's flesh out this feature grid. So if we clicked on the blue part here, it brings us to our feature grid settings. Now if we click on here, it gives us our settings for this column. And we can change the width of this column. We can make it narrower or wider within itself. We can also change the column alignment just for this block, right? And for example, I want to justify this left, and I click on this one. Oops. I can justify this right, and this one's going to be center. And what are the other things that we can do on here? So inner column, we have minimum height, right, maximum width, and so on and so forth. We can also change this to horizontal and vertical. The default feature blocks are horizontal, but since this one is in a grid, in a stack, we can have it as vertical. Okay, and then we have block size, spacing, and our container, which we can enable or disable. And we have style. We can add a different background for this. We can change, we can add border radius to this. We can add shadows and outline. We can change the container background, but it's not enabled over here. We also don't have our container borders and shadow. And we can also have a link if we clicked on this column and our other options. So with our feature grid general settings done and our individual settings for each inner column set, let's go ahead and flesh out these feature blocks. So let's upload some images from our library. Let's go something real simple. These gloves for cycling. I'll click on each one of these and let's fill out our feature grid. Right, and then just clicking on these, we can adjust them. And then since this one's bigger, we can change the height for this image. Okay, I'm happy with that. And we have our general option settings for our image, such as alignment, style, and our advanced settings, of course. And let's go ahead and type in heading items yellow. Okay, and then for the buttons, we can keep them default and change the button colors to something a bit more visible. Okay, and then our text color will be black. And then for spacing, we can make it bigger or smaller. We can change the padding. I'll keep it on default settings. I'll make it full width, and we'll make it the same for these ones. Right, and then for this one, just the same. It's a button colors. Let's make it yellow as well, and style. Let's make it yellow, and then our text color shall be this, and our button size and spacing, it'll be full width. And let's change the title to my. Okay, and then for our last one, just the same thing. Styles, button colors, let's make it purple, and our text colors will be, will be black. And I'll change this one to learn more. Okay, so we have adjusted our feature grid settings, our individual column settings, and now fleshed out our individual feature blocks. So once we're happy with that, let's go ahead and click on Publish and save our progress and take a look at it on our live site. All right, let's go ahead and click on View Page. And this is how Stackable's feature grid looks like on a live website. Here's our whole container. Here are our individual feature blocks. And you can see we've customized the border radius for this one, and their spacing, and their size in proportion to each other. We've also customized our colors and image sizes and so on. So there is Stackable's feature grid block in WordPress. If you found this video helpful, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe to our channel, as it really helps us out with the YouTube algorithm. Show this kind of video to other nerds like us. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.